Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Janice if you're new here. If you are not new here, thank you again for joining me for another video. So happy 2024, it's January 1st, and today I'm going to do a video about my favorite books that I read in 2023, specifically regarding mindset. I'm always trying to better myself little by little, and these books have helped. So if this sounds interesting to you, I hope you stay tuned. I'm going to go over 6 of my favorite books that I read this year, specifically having to do with mindset, discipline, and motivation. So my first book that I have is Atomic Habits. This book is by James Clear, and it's pretty easy to read. It is Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. I found this book to be super interesting. This book is about breaking bad habits and establishing good habits. He talks about how small changes over time lead to significant results, like working out or eating healthy. So if you do just a little bit of that every day, over the long term, you'll have significant results. So working out, if you only worked out for an hour a week, that wouldn't get you necessarily the results that you wanted if you worked out a half hour every day over time. Same with eating healthy. Just because you eat healthy for a week or two doesn't mean that you're going to get the results that you would get if you just ate a little bit healthier every day over the course of the year. In his book, he talks about 4 laws, and they are: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. If you want to make a habit, the first step is making it obvious. So for me, what I had to do in order for me to get in exercise more often, I had to have my setup already done. So right next to me, I'll actually show you. So this is my workout area. I already have my workout clothes laid out for every day, and I just throw those on in the morning, and I have all my weights set up. And I do a 15-minute workout video. All I have to do is put it on my computer, which is right behind you guys, plug in 15-minute workout. I usually do a Caroline Girvan workout. 15-minute workout, I'll do kettlebells or legs or arms or whatever other 15-minute workout she has. Hit play, I'm done in 15 minutes. So the second law is make it attractive. So that meaning the more attractive something is, the more likely you are to do it, and it would become habit forming. This is making me going on my walk more attractive, is that if there are YouTube videos that I want to catch up on, I'll put in my ear pods and I'll listen to those videos on my walk. That makes my walk more attractive because I really want to listen to those videos, so I just do it on my walk. The third law is to make it easy. So kind of in the same aspect as making it obvious, you want to make it easy, for instance, to work out. I'm just going to use workout as my thing because that's the thing that comes to my mind and something that I have really put into use from reading this book. I want to make working out easy. I enjoy working out for the feeling it gives me after I'm done, but do I really like working out? No. I mean, I've always done it. It's something that I've just done because it's good for me. But do I love working out? Not necessarily. I just love how it makes me feel when I'm done. So I make it easy for me to work out. You guys saw my clothes ready to go. So every morning I either read and or I come into my office and I do work. I read my emails, catch up on social media, which I know that's not a good thing to do first thing in the morning. But I come in here with my coffee, and it's obvious to me, and it's easy to me that I need to work out because my stuff is right there, literally 6 feet away from me, just staring me in the eye. And you guys know how quickly 15 minutes goes by. It goes by like nothing. You could be checking your emails or on social media, and before you know it, an hour has gone by. So I've kind of put that in my head, like, I just need to get this done, this 15 minutes, and during the time I'm doing it, yes, it kind of stinks, but I know how it's going to make me feel when I'm done. The fourth law he talks about is make it satisfying. So we as humans love immediate satisfaction, right? I mean, working out, you don't really get immediate satisfaction. It takes a while to build muscle or lose weight or see definition in your muscles in your body after you've lost some fat. And it's not immediate. It can take months or even years for some of us. So you want to figure out something that makes that habit satisfying for you. For me, it's just knowing how good I feel when I'm done with the workout. And I've been doing it long enough to know that if I keep doing it, even if it's not every day, because I don't work out every single day. I skip workouts, but I never beat myself up anymore. I used to beat myself up all the time, and then it was the all or nothing mindset. I would be like, oh, well, you know, I haven't worked out in a week, so I'm just not going to work out until January 1st, or whatever the scenario is. I don't have that mindset anymore, and a huge part of it is over the years reading these books. So now even just a 15-minute workout, it's just knowing how I feel when I'm done. It's a little sense of accomplishment. He also talks about the habit loop and how all habits have a circle of life, kind of, as you might say. So there's your cue, your craving, your response, and your reward. He basically goes into what forms a habit and why we do form our habits, whether they're good or bad. He talks about changing your identity ahead of time. So for instance, if you want to be a healthy person, but you have some issues right now, maybe you have a chronic disease or 2 or 3, you could think to yourself, I'm a person who works out, or I'm a person who eats healthy. And just thinking that way will help you to build your habit over time. He also talks about the plateau of latent potential. I'll put a little screenshot up here about that. I think that's really interesting because I can only speak for myself, but over my lifetime, there have been several times that I have started to exercise or started to eat healthy or started to learn to play an instrument. And I got to the point where it started where I wasn't feeling like I was making any progress. So then I quit. When if I just would have went a little bit longer, whether it be a week or 2 weeks, then I would have seen dramatic results. Maybe I would have learned to play that song, or at least another part of that song, or maybe I would have lost those 2 pounds, or maybe I would have started to see definition in my biceps. That is the plateau of latent potential, where you're kind of stuck in that area where nothing's happening, but if you just go a little bit further, then you would see results. He also talks about how when you're making a habit or thinking about making a habit, to make it challenging enough but to where you can still do it. So for instance, if you haven't worked out in months or years or whatever the case may be for you, you start off slow. Maybe you go on a 5-minute walk, or maybe you're a little bit more advanced and you can already run a mile, but you really want to get to a 5K run. So maybe you do a 1.5 miles instead of trying to get that full 5K run. It's making things challenging for you, but not to the point where it's going to hurt so bad you just don't even want to do it. For me, this book, on top of many others I've read, and also following people who I really respect and I feel like they have good things to say, have made me realize that I don't like saying, oh, next year I will be able to fit into that pair of jeans, or, you know, I messed up this week with my eating, or I didn't work out this week, so I'm just going to wait and I'm just going to start over Monday, or I'm going to start over January 1st, or whatever the case may be. If you just change your mindset to not have that all or nothing aspect of it, and if you eat the brownie, you just say to yourself, that's okay, I ate the brownie. I didn't gain 10 pounds from eating the brownie. I gained 10 pounds because I kept eating the brownie and the pasta and the pizza and the ice cream over, you know, a month or 2. I guess my point is just don't beat yourself up and try not to stress out about bikini season and, you know, the holidays and fitting into that dress, or whatever it is that you are looking forward to doing, but you have that mindset where like, oh shoot, you know, I gained 10 pounds over the summer or the holidays, and now I have to hurry up and not eat for a week, or really exercise for an hour a day every day just so I can catch up, when it's just easier to do a little bit every day. Maybe instead of having, maybe instead of not working out at all for a month, you just work out 15 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. Whatever you can do, it'll give you that little bit of motivation, and you won't feel that anxiety when it gets to the time when you have to put on a bathing suit or a dress that's been sitting in your closet for 5 years. You just always, or even any of the clothes in your closet. There were years when I had clothes in my closet that I really loved, that I held on to, thinking to myself, I can't wear that right now. It doesn't look good on me. Or I'll wear that when I get down to this weight. Or I'm just gonna keep that just in case I can wear it one day. When if I just took care of myself that entire time, I'd always be able to wear those clothes, and I would always feel good about myself, and my attitude overall would be completely different than what it was over the years. So I am still working on that, and I'm not gonna lie, there are a pair of pants in my closet that are a little bit small on me, not to the point where I'll never fit into them again, but they're in there just as that little bit of motivation to me, where if I do certain things over time and I just keep doing them, then I'll be able to wear them. But I'm not stressed out about it. My point is, stop telling yourself the same story every year. Change the story, change your habits, and I guarantee you it'll be less stress on you, and it'll just be a better case scenario overall. Okay, on to the next book, because I went on way too long on that one. But it is a good book. I've actually read it twice. The next book I'll be talking about is The Slight Edge. And this book was a really good book. It was very similar to Atomic Habits. And I don't have this book right now. I got that one from the library. In fact, all these books I had gotten at the library. Atomic Habits was one I bought because I really enjoyed that one a lot. So it's called The Slight Edge. It's by Jeff Olson, and it too talks about simple daily habits when compounded over time equal dramatic results. Now, that being said, if you have bad habits compounding over time, that will lead to negative, horrible situations and results. He talks about the choice curve, and I will insert that here, and the amount of time we keep doing our good habits or we keep doing our bad habits over time equal the results we get. So let's just say, okay, today's January 1st. So let's just say I have a good habit of walking every day for 20 minutes and then coming home and doing 15 minutes of weight training. Let's say I do that every day for a year. I'm going to have way better results than if instead of walking every day, that I slept in late, didn't have time to make my breakfast, so I ran every day to Starbucks to get a blueberry muffin or lemon bar and a large sugary coffee. At the end of that year, I'm going to look like a completely different person if I do those same two things every day, whether it be the walking and exercising every day or going to Starbucks and waking up late every day. I'm going to look different at the end of the year. I'm going to feel different at the end of the year. My skin, you'll be able to see a difference in my skin at the end of the year, in my muscle tone, in my attitude. He talks about how things in life are easy to do and easy not to do. It's easy for me to take a 20-minute walk. It's also easy for me not to do it. Or it's easy for me to wake up at 6 a.m. It's also easy for me to sleep until 6:30 and then I'm rushing around and not giving myself the time I need to get in at least a 20-minute walk or a 15-minute workout. The next book I recommend is called Never Finished. It's by David Goggins. He is a retired Navy SEAL, ran 70 ultra distance races in his life. He was a Guinness Book of World Records holder for doing over 4,000 pull-ups in 17 hours, and he's a public speaker. Now, his book is different than Atomic Habits and The Slight Edge. His book is tough love. He swears. It's just in your face, yelling, screaming. So if you don't like that kind of thing, I personally love it. I love it. I love tough love. That is how I get things done. I think it's because that's how my dad was. My dad was a Marine, and I just feel like that resonates with me. So I really did like this book, but if you don't like the swearing and the tough love, you probably won't like this book. He talks about how motivation is what gets you going, but discipline is what keeps you going and moving on day to day by doing the habits that you do and to make positive changes. He talks about not only motivation and discipline and mindset, but also how we need to deal with the demons that we all have in order to get past them and be better people. He talks about his childhood and his family and growing up and how that was a very strong influence on him and how he got to where he is today. He talks about how we have two levels of belief, how one is what our parents and our friends tell us, and then also from resilience. We don't all have the same levels of stress, fatigue. We all have different levels and situations in our lives, and it's how we deal with our own situations. The next book is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. So he's also an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, a sales expert, and a real estate investor. His book also is tough love, not as much as David Goggins, but his book is also along the lines of setting massive goals, high goals more than what you want to get to. So let's say I made a goal that I want to be able to do 10 pull-ups. So in his book, The 10X Rule, it's basically about, okay, you want to do 10 pull-ups, well then you want to aim for 100 pull-ups then. I'm never going to be able to do 100 pull-ups, and that's not my goal. I'm fine being able to do one pull-up. That is my initial goal. So in his book, he talks about then I would want to set my goal at 10 pull-ups so I could do the one pull-up. His book is basically talking about setting your goals higher than where you want to be. He talks about owning your goals and your mistakes, so don't blame others for where you are. If you keep blaming people in your life for where you are now or for where you've been, that doesn't help you. So these books help in that aspect also. He talks about finding ways to make things happen no matter what. He talks about making excuses. He talks about how success is our duty to our family, our community, and society overall. And I just think that that book was also an easy read, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I'm going to talk about is Chop Wood, Carry Water. So this book is by Joshua Metcalf. He's also a speaker, author, and mental training coach. He talks about focusing on the journey and the process rather than just the end result. He also talks about daily improvement and finding joy and purpose in the journey. He talks again, like the books I've already talked about, consistency, discipline, and strong work ethic. He talks about embracing the challenges and the struggles that come with developing and having success. He also talks about staying positive even when things become difficult, which I know is hard. I struggle with anxiety. I have to make a mental note every day when things aren't going as planned or I'm stressed out or feeling anxious. That is something that I work on every day. But he also talks about how whether positive or negative, everything teaches us something, which I totally believe in that. And I feel like the negative and the positive, we need all of it. We need all of it to learn and grow. And the last book I'm going to talk about is called Born to Shine. It's by Kendra Scott. So you guys may know her. She's a jewelry designer, a fashion designer. She owns Kendra Scott Jewelry Company, which is worth more than $1 billion today. Her book is also an easy read, and it's heartwarming, and it's about her life and growing up and how she got to where she is. It's about her family and how family comes first, and that's how she runs her business. She talks about persistence and positivity, her life growing up in the Midwest, which is where I am, so that part interested me. And she also references the movie 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton a lot, and how that movie is one of her favorite movies, and how she's absolutely in love with Dolly Parton, and how the movie and Dolly Parton were huge in her life and her mindset in getting her to where she is today. Her company is all about family. As long as you get your work done, she understands that you have to leave early or come in late, or, you know, if a babysitter cancels or is sick, it's okay to bring your child to the office, as long as, you know, the work gets done and there isn't a disruption to the rest of the company. She talks about how there has to be work and life balance, and I know a lot of companies are trying to be that way, but hey, if you're looking for a job, and I mean, you might want to check out Kendra Scott's company. It sounds like a pretty good one to work for. All of these books emphasize motivation, discipline, and persistence to achieve our goals and purpose. Of course, there's always going to be challenges, but you always want to stay focused on your goals and your dreams, no matter what they are, no matter how big, how small. And how I look at things is the time is going to pass anyway, so you may as well do something good for yourself. Thanks so much for joining me in this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't subscribed, I would really love to have you here. Please like this video if you found it enjoyable, and let me know of any books that you found to be helpful or enjoyable that you have read in 2023. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.